Hi, welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday from Domino Letting. I'm James Callahan. Recently we've had a lot of landlords come to us and ask us to source property for them, and what they're looking to tap into is our knowledge and expertise of how to find the right buy-to-let property. We recently saved a landlord from buying in very much the wrong area. We've covered areas a lot in Glasgow, but one of the things to look at is what are the fundamentals that come into finding a good buy-to-let property. When we do that sourcing, we go through about 50 things. There's a checklist of 50 items that we have to go through. But what we'll do is give you the 7 most important that might help yourself out, and even from those 7 we'll break them down and give you the 4 absolute ones that you have to have. So starting top left, transport. You have to have a transport to and from the property you choose. That's because tenants have to get to work, they have to travel out of the city, they have to visit friends, so you have to have the transport amenities there, be that roads, rails, buses, whatever it may be, it's got to be there. Secondly, schooling, very important to families, that the schooling in the areas is right. We find this particularly in the suburban areas where properties are inundated with offers to rent just because they fall in a certain school catchment area. So always look at the schools in your area too. Employment being a big part, probably one of the most important for your tenants, especially in the urban areas. I would say people who want to live in the city and close to their work without being on top of their work, but if the employment isn't there, they're not going to want to live in that city at all anyway, so get that first and foremost. When you're buying a buy-to-let and you look at the cost, you've looked at the mortgage and you've looked at another couple of things, you have to make sure you consider absolutely everything. And if you look back on the whiteboards we've done, we give you all the costs before you buy the property and all the costs going into the property. For example, if you buy a building that has maybe a lift in it, you might expect the factors cost to be higher. So have you taken that into consideration when you're doing your sums, or have you only taken the mortgage and maybe your letting agency fees? So that could really radically alter your numbers, so make sure you've got that done. Shopping, and when I've got shops here and shopping, but that's anything from shops, bars, restaurants, gyms, the things that people want to do in their local area, extending out to parks even. So look around the area, what is there, why do people want to live there, and when they live there, how do they get a pint of milk, how do they get a newspaper, where do they go for a beer? Think of those things, because that's what your tenants will be thinking about when they're looking to move in. Bit more technical but very important is learning how to read a home report. We'll actually do a separate whiteboard on that, but you want to get comfortable with a home report, the content within it, and the difference between a 1, 2 and a 3 in terms of issues needing attention. Like I say, we'll go into that in more detail, but home report is something you need to understand fundamentally before you can proceed on a property. Part of the home report, but something becoming more and more important to tenants, is the energy performance of a property. That obviously dictates how much their utility bills are going to cost, so it's important to you to understand that they understand that and they're going to want that. So that's the 7 I'll give you as a top 7, but the 4 I would narrow down. Don't go ahead on any property if it hasn't got the right transport, the right shopping and amenities, the right employment and the right schooling. Those are your big 4. Hit those 4 and you'll do really well. Add to the others, add to your knowledge, and that'll help too. If you would rather we did the work for you, like I say, we go through a 50-point checklist when sourcing properties for landlords, and we only buy in areas where we guarantee the rent within 30 days and it's come in every single month. So if you'd like us to help with that, just give us a call on the number above. Any comments, as below, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for now.